Welcome to Aunt Ruby's Corner YouTube channel. Thank you so much for spending your time with us. My name is Shireen Sears, and I am the insurance professional that Aunt Ruby has earmarked as your host. Today we are going to be talking about education with insurance, and that is something that is so important to Aunt Ruby. One of the things that we have to do as people is become educated and get understanding. But before we go into that, let me just make sure I make this disclaimer.
License.
And again, we're talking about education in insurance. One of the things that we have found over the years talking with Aunt Ruby is that when we talk to consumers or clients, a lot of them may not really understand what risks are, what their assets are, and how important it is to make sure that your family is covered from a loss of income due to death or anything else like a disability. So we talked about it, and she said, you know what, Shireen, I want you to, you know how Aunt Ruby can be. Now, she told me I needed to talk to somebody, get a professional in here so that we could discuss education and how you can also maybe even earn a living by providing a much needed service to the community. Education is so important when it comes down to anything, but specifically insurance. Because without it, you really don't know the questions that you should ask. There's so much regulations that are part of it, and policy, terms, and all of these different things that a lot of people just really don't know. So keeping in tune with what Aunt Ruby has asked me to do, we're going to be talking today with the owner, operator, and trainer of Get Skills 365, Tanya Scott-Plilcher. Tanya has been in the business for a very long time, and she has those gems that, especially if you're looking for, say, a career, a job that you can do from home, you ain't got to worry about COVID. Tanya has the information just for you. So without further ado, we're going to be talking with Miss Tanya Scott-Plilcher of Get Skills 365. Welcome, Tanya, to Aunt Ruby's Corner YouTube channel. Thank you so very much for joining us today. We are thrilled to have you.
It is an absolute pleasure to be here with you at Aunt Ruby's Corner. I thought it's a fantastic idea. This is great. You know, Shireen, I've been doing this business for quite some time. Mm-hmm. I've had Get Skills going on since 2001.
2001, wow.
Yep, we transitioned. You know, you talk about Aunt Ruby and education. So first we started out with GED preparation, job skills training.
Okay.
And then as things changed and we changed and we started getting into insurance, then what better thing to do than change your business into insurance. So exactly. We went from educating in GED and getting people ready for jobs, and then we fell into this awesome career in insurance, and we turned our training business into an insurance training business.
Excellent. I mean, see, now that's skills right there, because not everybody can transition from just, you know, educating people, but then taking the opportunity and recognizing the importance of that opportunity. And now you're providing the training for insurance professionals like myself.
Yes.
But okay, so just to make sure I got this right, you provide training for insurance professionals, but you also provide training for individuals looking to get in the business?
Absolutely. So that's pre-licensing. Everyone that's interested in getting your insurance license, you have to take a 40-hour class. And so we provide that for the life and health side.
Okay.
And very soon we're going to be doing P&C. So we'll have the property and casualty up and ready too.
So, okay, before you go there, Now, one of the things that we want to talk about, because you and I can talk those terms, that jargon, that insurance jargon.
Yeah.
Everybody don't know what we talking about. So we want them, as Aunt Ruby would say, to become educated.
Yeah.
So please describe or help us to understand the difference between health and life and P&C. What is that? What are those?
Shereen, as you know, this is part of our everyday life. You got to have health insurance.
Right.
That is in order to go to the doctor, in order to go to the hospital, you got to have health insurance. And that helps pay for the cost when you get ready to go there. So you're only paying co-pays.
Right.
Then you have your life insurance that really takes care of your family once you pass away.
Right.
Then you have property and casualty, which is your auto. Everybody that's on the road got to have some auto insurance. And then your homeowners is, even if you're renting, you need to have rental insurance and homeowners insurance.
Because a lot of people don't know your personal property in a renter, as a renter, is not covered if you don't have that personal property covered.
The reason I got into the property and casualty side is because of the storms that we had here, and people were losing their homes or the roofs off their homes, and then calling asking, why in the world am I having to pay $20,000 and $30,000 to get a roof on my house?
Wow.
And that was because that was just the deductible portion, you know?
Wow.
And I was like, I don't know. So in order for me to learn, I had to get licensed first.
Right.
And once I got licensed, now I see what the issue is.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And if I tell you the issue,
but as Aunt Ruby would say,
Aunt Ruby.
Aunt Ruby.
What,
no, now I'm not. Wait a minute. I look like Aunt Ruby. I know I do. She is a gorgeous woman, but I'm not Aunt Ruby. I'm Shereen.
But Shereen, the problem is when they get that mortgage and they gotta fit within that window to set that mortgage up.
Right.
Some person forced them to get an insurance policy inexpensive to cover their home. And that little piece says wind, storm, rain, and includes that roof that's at 3% and 5%. And so just to fit in that window, they bought cheap insurance. And now when they have a disaster a few years down,
they can't afford it.
They cannot afford it.
But the thing about it is, and this is what, coming back to the whole point about Aunt Ruby's Corner and today's topic, the education of insurance. And that's maybe what we should have titled it, the education of insurance. Because at the end of the day, it is up to the consumer to be educated. It's not the insurance professional's job. It's not the mortgage company's job. It's not the car dealership's job or anybody else's job. It's not the doctor's job. If you don't know your rights, your responsibilities, if you don't understand the policy terms as listed in the contract, you as the consumer cannot fault anybody but you. The personal property, the individual needs to have their own individual insurance to cover their property. Whereas someone who owns the property, that's a different type of policy.
Absolutely.
Because it's called, I believe, landlord, right?
Yep, that's the landlord policy.
All right. So I hope y'all heard that, especially you young people out there getting these apartments and everything. As Aunt Ruby would say, you make sure you're covered because they're going to make sure they're covered even if you're not. So, okay. So tell us a little bit more about the skill set that someone would have to have, say, to get into the insurance industry.
The skill set is that you need to be an entrepreneur. You got to be able to get up and go and have a mindset that you want to do something for yourself. It is about making, this is a $1 trillion industry. And for people not to be in this industry is crazy, you know?
But before you go there, as far as education wise, it might be a $1 trillion industry, but from a point of view of, say, I'm just a high school student and I want to get involved, you know, is it required? I mean, what can I do? Because I don't have any skills yet, but as far as analytical skills and those kinds of things are needed.
People skills are more needed.
Okay.
than analytical people. Because no matter what you do in life or anything that's going on around you, everything has insurance. So if it's a car, if it's this building has insurance.
Right.
So every aspect of our life has insurance.
Right.
So no matter where someone works, there's an insurance on that building. If they're construction, insurance. So there's so much opportunity. And for a young person to get involved in this, one of the things that I did recently is during the summer, we had our very first class for those young people under the age of 30. And all they had to pay for was their book.
Oh, wow.
Okay? So they came in class. They had to have a mindset that they wanted this. And we reached out to insurance agents that had young adults in their lives because it's important that we have someone to leave this legacy to, right?
That's right.
So I reached out to them, asked them whether or not they had, adult children. They came in. We had 95% passing rate.
Wow, that's excellent.
So
but you know what? That says a lot to the trainer, honey. That says a whole lot about the trainer because I've taken that test.
Ruby is so on point because no one teaches all of these things. This is a life skill that everybody needs to have in reference to health insurance, life insurance, homeowners, so forth. We go to a job and we will get health insurance and don't know anything about it.
That's right. What I'm finding is that people, when I ask you, okay, well, tell me about your premium. I don't know. They taking out my check. How you don't know how much money they taking out your check? It's like, no. When I worked for corporate America, I knew to the penny how much they was taking out for my insurance and anything and everything else. I didn't recognize how important that was today. Right. But at the end of the day, you have to become an educated consumer.
Absolutely.
Becoming an educated consumer. If someone wanted to come to Get Skills and say they don't think that they have the people skills or whatever, but in terms of just finding out the information that they need for their own lives, would you suggest that somebody might even come in just to sit and take the test so that they can understand the different aspects of it?
Absolutely. You have that aha moment when you're sitting in class and you're getting the information. You're like, oh.
That's why I got to pay that.
Yeah.
That's what that is. Okay, like FICA. Okay, Medicare. I know Medicare is being taken out your check. Yes, it is.
No, the most funniest one is when, we have baby mamas and they're like, can I insure my baby daddy? You're like,
you joking, girl. You have what's called an insurable interest.
Insurable interest.
What is that? Tell it. Tanya, tell them what insurable interest is.
I'm not going to tell them what insurable interest is. They need to come to class.
Our Ruby's Corner is to provide this discussion and this dialogue that we need to have, not only about education, but about the insurance industry. Finding someone who can do this because the passion, as we were talking about, has to be there. It's so crucial in many times. Can you imagine, for example, I have a client who she paid on a policy for 30 years. She thought she had done everything that she needed to do to make sure that she was going to be taken care of. And came to find out that she has spent probably over $17,000 and her policy is only worth $4,000. That's two policies actually. Two policies that she's paid over $17,000, life insurance policies. And so now at the age of 87, because 87 is a very crucial age, she's not going to be able, she can't get any policies from anybody because of her age. And she only has $4,000 to bury her.
Wow.
The education part, she thought she knew. And having an agent who's not only passionate, who's educated, who's professional,
truthful, ethical,
follow up, make sure that the clients have what they need. And as times change, do those reviews.
That's right.
And because it takes a special person to truly be in this business. That's why, Get Skills 365 is important. That's why I mentioned to you in terms of consumers. Not everybody can do it. But if you can do it, great.
We know with COVID, it's still in the air.
Right.
The average funeral cost right now is what, Shireen? Probably $10,000. And so even your customer only having $4,000
right.
to get buried,
right.
She really does not have enough. She'll have something.
And living in the Bible Belt, the only way that she would have enough is if she wanted to be cremated. Living in the Bible Belt, cremation is not even an option.
An option?
It's not. That's like, no. Okay? So having someone to share that information with,
right.
and again, having the school or resource as Get Skills 365 is, to become educated in learning for yourself as a consumer, but also if you truly want to get in this business, you care about people,
right.
and you truly want to understand what you're really getting into.
Right.
Because life insurance is just one part. What if you write a policy for someone on the property and casualty side for their car, and you didn't give them enough coverage, and they go out and they have a total accident that's worth, the accident's probably $100,000, but their policy is only for $25,000. Another thing that is lacking in a lot of people, and that's wisdom. You said that you went from doing one thing as far as education and training and transitioning into insurance. With COVID-19 going on right now, if you are a young person who's wanting to find, that job, that career that can help you sustain your family, getting in touch with Tanya with Get Skill 365 might be that thing that you need to do.
Yes. We have a class coming up in February. That class is scheduled for February 20th and 21st. That's a Saturday and Sunday of 1 week, and then the Saturday and Sunday of the next. So we are looking to fill that class. We will have it out in Garden City at the Empowerment Center. So we have partnered with the Empowerment Center to do the course for a very low cost. Can I tell the cost?
Please.
Ruby? Cost is $170. That's inclusive of your book.
Wow. Okay, so if you like what you've heard today, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the post notifications, okay? So again, this is Aunt Ruby's Corner, and we are taking the opportunity to provide you with some gems and some nuggets. Today I've been talking to Ms. Tanya Scott-Plilcher of Get Skills 365, and we've been talking education, insurance education. If you don't get education specifically regarding your insurance, you could be setting yourself up for a failure that you definitely don't want to have. So Tanya, wrapping everything up today, what do you want to make sure that our audience gets?
I want to make sure that they can find me.
Okay.
Well,
that's one thing. They got to be able to find me.
You can go to getskillstraining.com. You can call me at 912-844-5522. We have a class coming up that will be held at the Empowerment Center, but our office location is 1094A Eisenhower Drive. We're on the other side of the DUI Center. So we have classes scheduled every month from here until July. We'll have classes every single month. Classes are 40 hours. So Saturday and Sunday of 1 week, Saturday and Sunday of the next, and we'll put them up online. But those of you that are unemployed and need a career, reach out.
All right. So, education. If you do not get your education regarding your life, because we're talking about your life, it is your life and your responsibility. Getting a resource like Get Skills, or getting a resource like Aunt Ruby for that matter, you can set yourself up for success in so many ways. So stay tuned for more information about Aunt Ruby's Corner and the additional topics we'll be talking to other individuals about. But we've got a special that's going to be coming up. We're going to talk to some real life clients and customers. We're going to give you some real life details so that you can jot down and note some things that you need to understand. So until the next time, thank you for joining us with Our Ruby School.